you're ready to get in this gym and do your push-ups for the week and get your workout in. So the title of today's message is, What You Gonna Do? So this was inspired by my coworker. Shout out to you, Tamika. So over the past couple of weeks, we've been collaborating because we share some of the same schools in our work. And we were trying to come up with a plan of how are we going to support our work moving forward. And so we're talking and I'm saying, okay, well, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm working on. And so one of the trends that I identified, she was like, you've been saying that since the beginning of the year. What are you doing about it? And so I was like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing this. Well, is it working? And so I had to be self-reflective. At first I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what? But the reality was, it was really a challenge to push me to say, if something isn't working, then I have to self-reflect and maybe I need to choose something different. I had to go back to myself and say, for real, this is what it is. It's not working. What you gonna do? Number one, personal responsibility and accountability. This is real life for me. This changed my life. This was it. This is when I started to get on the path of growth and trying to better myself and be more of who I was and really start accepting myself when I got responsible. For many years, I had problems and I blamed them on other people. I made excuses. I said, well, this isn't happening because of this or because of that or because of that. Hey, guess what? It's not happening because of me. It's the decision and the choices I'm making. That's what personal responsibility is. That's us looking in the mirror and saying, whatever I see around me, I have created. I could have easily said when we were discussing what we're going to do, how we're going to create a better plan, I could have easily said, well, this is an issue and that's an issue. No. What's my contribution? What's my part? And how am I going to change it? It's not about anybody else. Notice, still haven't said that. It's not about anybody else. It's about us. We have to look in the mirror and own our part. That's when things start to change. And ultimately what I'm saying here is life is not going to change. Our results are not going to change until we do. The second push-up we're going to do here is a little self-awareness and reflection. So self-awareness is being aware of the things you do and why you do them. Huge when we're trying to shift and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. Because, if we don't understand why we're doing what we're doing, we'll continue to do the same thing over and over. Now, with a lot of the research that I've done and a lot of the books that I've read as I've gone through my process, a lot of the work is done right here between our ears. I remember for many years, I would just bump my head against the same things. And even still, sometimes I still do that. And I notice when I really dig in deep and I ask myself and really go to the spot of why I'm doing what I'm doing, a lot of times I'm more apt to change the behavior. Not to say it's perfect, because it never is, but it's a little bit more like I will probably change the behavior more often than when I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do it differently, instead of me looking at why. And then I think the other piece of that self-reflection, we have to ask ourselves what's working and what's not working. So, notice one of the things I've said here is I haven't said anything about blaming it on somebody else or what somebody else is doing. I have to look at myself. So I know one of the things when we were collaborating was I recognized that I'm not being clear in my communication. And so what I have to do is I have to be clear. I have to say it. I have to explain it. I have to explain it better so that someone can understand. So just thinking about those things, knowing yourself, understand why you do what you do, but also being self-reflective and looking at what's not working. If it's not working, then I gotta do something different, literally. Number 3, DCE, decide, commit, execute. This is all about our actions. We've done the mental work, the work between the ears, but at some point we have to decide to do something differently. I could have easily continued for the remainder of the year to do the same exact thing. It wasn't working. I had to make a decision to do something differently. And then the second part of that, commit. I'm committed to finding a solution. Now, one of the quotes I heard several weeks ago was that negative people find a problem for every solution. Let's be the solution seekers. There's always problems. There's plenty of them. But when we are committed to finding an answer or a solution, we'll find one. If this don't work, I'm going to try this. If that don't work, I'm going to try this. If this don't work, I'm going to try this. Just continue to keep going until you find a solution. The last one. This one is huge. This is key. Execution. I just looked up this quote and it said, you cannot build a reputation simply by what you say you're going to do. It's a matter of what you do. And so this is just a matter of us following through on what we say we gonna do. That's it. I was talking a couple of weeks with a colleague, like we can always talk about what problems exist. But at the end of the day, what are we doing about it? How are we going to fix it? That's what matters. And so those are my tidbits, words of wisdom on this wonderful mental push-up Monday. Number one, take responsibility. Secondly, be self-reflective and self-aware and ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? But also, what's working, what's not working? And then lastly, DCE, decide, commit, execute. So make a decision, choose to do something differently, commit to that all the way, commit to finding that solution, and then follow through. Execute. It's not what we say, it's all about what are we doing about it. And I'm out.